So you're one of those dangerous, crazy, freaking conspiracy theorists, aren't you? That's why you tuned in. You're a danger to not only yourself and your family, but to your country. Shame on you. Hey guys, welcome back to 1966. That's right, we're in the Tacoma studios to talk about conspiracy theorists.
Interest among non-Catholic.
So, the term conspiracy theorist was actually started by our good friends over at the CIA right around the time of the John F. Kennedy assassination, and when they came out with the Warren Commission report, and a lot of people just didn't buy it, the CIA said, we have to come up with a term to marginalize these people. We have to come up with a term that's going to make these people seem crazy. And we're going to promote it. So when they said, well, I don't believe it was a lone gunman that shot John F. Kennedy. Oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist nut. And it was publicized, and the mainstream media got right on board with it. Conspiracy theorists today have said there was at least 2 shooters in the JFK assassination. Personally, I honestly think that if you are a conspiracy theorist, my imaginary hat is completely off to you. And I'll tell you why. They termed conspiracy theory to marginalize people that dare to think differently about what they're being told. They use the term conspiracy theorist, wearing the tinfoil hat, to marginalize us that dare to question whatever the official narrative is. When really, a conspiracy theorist, honestly, is just a free thinker. Is just somebody that really wants to get to the bottom of things and doesn't necessarily believe the official narrative. And guess what? These cuckoo crazy conspiracy theorists have been right a lot. And I mean a lot. Operation Paperclip, that was a conspiracy theory, wasn't it? You mean you're going to why would the U.S. bring Nazi war criminals over here and put them in our space program and our rocket program? That's just crazy. You're trying to tell me that the United States military and the United States government is going to buy off our media, our trusted Walter Cronkites of the world, to push narratives that are more pro-American and anti-Soviet? What would they call it? You crazy theorists. Mockingbird? You nuts. And let's not forget about, I gotta be careful here. There was something that happened which we got all fired up and went to war over not too long ago. Some buildings got knocked down or something like that. I don't know. Now people are being called crazy, cuckoo conspiracy theorists about Russia. Why does the United States want to go to war with Russia anyway? I'll tell you why. Because Russia is leading the charge in weakening the American dollar. That American dollar that has little strings attached to it that countries use as part of the major market, right? And if that country is doing something that we don't really like, we pull on those little strings a little bit with sanctions, and it messes with their country. So if we don't like what they're doing, we mess with the money. And these countries are sick of it. They're tired of the United States barging in on what they're doing in their own country. So, what's the best way to curtail all this? Let's attack evil Russia, and let's use our mockingbird voice to parrot in the mainstream media how bad, big bad Russia really is. Let's talk about how evil Putin really is. Is he really? Is he really? I'm not saying I know it all. I'm not saying that the guy is a saint. But I'm also saying, what's wrong with questioning that narrative? I'll tell you what's wrong with questioning that narrative. If enough people start to question that narrative, then the will of the people, as far as wanting to actually go into any kind of a crazy war with Russia, because we don't want to, like, nuke and die, if there's no public support, it's unpopular. They still have to have the will of the American people is still strong enough for now. It's still strong enough that when we completely turn our back on what our government's doing as far as something crazy like what's going on now, and using NATO, that's a whole different video I can get into, but I'm just using this as an example. If they don't have the support, then it's unpopular, and therefore it's pretty tough for them to get their job, the agenda, done. And it really has nothing to do with evil Russia. It has everything to do with other countries of the world that we trade with not using the American dollar and turning to Chinese currency and Russia currency, because there's no strings attached to those. And it has a lot to do with the fact that Putin is leading the charge. He's no friend, probably. He doesn't really care for the U.S., so it shouldn't surprise anybody. But you get my point. If we question everything and we say, wait a minute, I don't buy that narrative, and here's why. We're not crazy. We're just free thinkers. We're people that are willing to see different sides of the coin. We are people that are willing to be awake enough to use our own brains to unplug from the TikTok and from the Facebook, the fake book, and X or Twitter, whatever it's called now. We're the ones that actually put that stuff aside, pick up books and read, and really pay attention to what's going on. So we've got to marginalize, the government says, the deep state says. We got to marginalize these people. They're dangerous. So here's my message today, guys. Drive on, you crazy conspiracy theorists. It shouldn't be a derogatory term. It should be worn like a badge of honor. Don't let anybody try to tell you you're crazy and call you a conspiracy theorist. It's all made up BS by the government. Think freely for yourselves. Take an objective viewpoint and look at all angles of an issue before you make up your mind. Don't let somebody else tell you what the way it is and have them make up your mind for you. That's all I got. Hope you have a great weekend.